This is a rare thing. This is the kind of thing we thought would happen a lot more in this administration, but it almost never has. This is a letter dated today to President Trump's Director of Personnel. It says, quote, Mr. McEntee, this is to inform you that effective immediately, I hereby tender my resignation as member and chair of the Federal Salary Council. I do so with great regret. However, after seeing Executive Order 13957 issued by the President on October 21st, I have concluded that as a matter of conscience, I can no longer serve him or his administration. As a matter of conscience. This letter is from a man named Ronald Sanders, Dr. Ronald Sanders, who until today was President Trump's hand-picked chair of something called the Federal Salary Council. Now, Ronald Sanders is not a household name. You may not be familiar with the workings of the Federal Salary Council. You are not alone. But Dr. Sanders says he can't abide what this new Trump executive order would do to federal workers. And he explains why. He says, quote, the executive order is nothing more than a smokescreen for what is clearly an attempt to require the political loyalty of those who advise the president, or failing that, to enable their removal with little, if any, due process. I simply cannot be part of an administration that seeks to do so, to replace apolitical expertise with political obeisance. Career federal employees are legally and duty-bound to be nonpartisan. They take an oath to preserve and protect our Constitution and the rule of law, not to be loyal to a particular president or administration. Accordingly, please accept my resignation. I thank the president for the opportunity to serve these almost 3 years, but I cannot in good conscience continue to do so. Sincerely, Dr. Ronald Sanders. You know, for all of the high-level resignations from the Trump administration over this term, and whoo boy, have there been a lot of them, this today from Dr. Ronald Sanders at the Federal Salary Council. This is one of the only pure examples we have got of a Trump appointee resigning from the government, A, for a principled reason, and B, while saying exactly what that principled reason is at the time, why he is stepping down in protest of a terrible action by the president. That is so bad, it necessitates the resignation of people who cannot in good conscience stomach it. I mean, there are plenty of ex-Trump officials who quietly slunk away and later let us know how bad they felt about what they saw on the inside. Some of them wrote whole books about how much they secretly disagreed with Donald Trump. But if you actually want to sound the alarm in a very useful way, if you want to maximize the civic impact of what you are doing, if you want to sound the alarm that the president, even a president you might like, a president who has appointed you to an important job that you love, if a president has just done something that is very bad, that is something worth quitting over, not only do you quit, but you say why. You say why it is that you are quitting. And you do it, and you let people know. This is the way that you do it. Bravo, Dr. Ronald Sanders. A very, very rare Trump administration profile and courage. Bravo.